All right, welcome back. This is my distance learning time with art, and we're going to start with a review because this week we are doing the elements of art. And yesterday we did this worksheet. We did it on a different piece of paper or in your sketchbook, and this is the example that I used yesterday. So we're going to move on today to the sheet that has shape and value. Okay? So when we start this worksheet, I'm actually going to start with the value down here at the bottom. And so you're going to need a pencil and you're going to possibly need a straight edge. But other than that, that should probably take care of any supplies that you'll need for today. So what we're going to start with is what's called a value scale. And the directions we follow right here says, can you match the value of the squares below? And that is essentially what you're going to do. So I'm going to give you a couple little pointers on when it comes to shading. And again, we're just using a basic pencil here, nothing fancy. You can start on the dark side right here and work to the lighter, or you can start on the lighter and work to the darker. It's up to you. So what I would encourage you to do is, again, hold your hand close to the lead so that you have really good control of your pencil. If you hold it out here and try to shade, you're going to have wide strokes and you're going to see a lot of lines. So we're going to get up close to our lead. And if I start with the lightest value, I am just barely touching the paper. And you can see that I'm going back and forth over my rectangle or my shape. Now, if you're shading like this and you happen to see quite a bit of line in that, I like to do a little trick of using tiny circles. So I wanted to show you what can work, but even a better way is to use like little circles. I see my pencil needs to be sharpened here. So I'm going to go around in little circles. And I don't know if you can see that, but I'm taking, if I go slow, it looks like this. Little circles. You can start going this way, you can start going this way, but I would not use all three. I kind of started at an angle, and so I'm going to continue that angle for my little circles. Again, try to shade in one direction. Now, I may look at this and say, you know what, that is just not light enough. But we're going to compare it to the rectangle directly above. So as I start to finish this up, I am looking for, okay, does it match the rectangle above? And is it really splotchy? If you see a lot of lines or you see a lot of white areas, you're going to want to go back over that. So I'm going to move to the next one. And again, this one I'm now going to go straight across because again, you can do straight across, straight up and down at an angle, but you just want to keep it the same once you start. So I'm going to go a little more pressure, and I'm going to build it up with little circles. I'm not trying to shade all the way across like this. Don't do that, okay? Little circles, small areas. All right, you can see I'm getting that one darker. By the time we get all the way over here, we're going to be pushing down pretty hard with our lead. In fact, you may get all the way done with this and say, hey, it's just not as dark as that, or it's really close to this one. So if you get done with that one, here's my finished example, and you say, you know, it just needs to be a little darker. You could actually go in another direction to make sure you cover up. Once you go in one direction and you get completely done, then you could go in a different direction and get rid of any areas where there might be some white showing. Now, if you find that two of them are very similar, you can just lightly skim your eraser over it. I'm not really trying to erase, I'm just lightening it. So I'm just skimming my eraser over it. And I'm also going to neaten up around the rectangle if I just happen to smudge it or anything like that. Okay? So those are some tips for the value portion that I want you to do, the value scale. And then when you get done with that, we are going to do what are called organic and geometric shapes. Now, organic shapes are shapes that you would find in nature. And organic shapes do not have corners and do not have straight lines. Geometric shapes, however, have corners, they have edges, and they have straight lines, with the exception of a circle. A circle does tend to be a geometric shape because we would use it in math and geometry, and it's a man-made shape. All right, so geometric is man-made, has corners, straight lines. All right, organic is going to be free form. It's going to be very loose and curvy. Let's not worry about positive and negative space, so we'll skip that. All right, so in our sketchbook, we are going to do 3 organic and 3 geometric shapes that are overlapping. I have an example here that I started, and you'll notice that what I did is I basically drew a line here. I had a straight edge, and you can use a ruler, or if you just have that tag board piece from your sketchbook cover, you can use that. I just drew it in half because I wanted a little smaller section. I went ahead and did 3 organic. This one's just kind of a weird curvy shape. I am going to count my heart as an organic, and I did a teardrop. You could do all 3 of them just being kind of a random amoeba looking form. And then I did a long rectangle. I traced a circle. Basically, I took a roll of tape and I put it down and I just traced that. And then I used my straight edge to just make this particular shape. It's a parallelogram, I believe. So anyway, once you get this done, we are going to do some values where they are overlapping. And so what I'm going to do is say, okay, I want this where the heart and the circle are overlapping. I'm going to do a really dark value. And you can do every single section if you want, but I'm going to say requirement is you have to do wherever there are 2 shapes overlapping, you've got to create a value. And we want more than one value. 3 seems to be the magic word today. I've got 3 organic, 3 geometric. So I'm going to go with 3 or more values. This is my dark value. And again, I'm keeping kind of small shading with my pencil. So there is a dark value. Maybe right here I'm going to create a really light value. So I'm just going to barely touch the paper. That is not as light as I wanted it to be, but it's still kind of light. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it going so it's a solid value of like a medium or medium light value. Okay, and I'm hitting a line, I'm hitting an edge, so I'm going to stop at this value right about here. I'm going to do a value right here, 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 a little one right here, a little one right here, here, and here. So these are all overlapping areas where I'm going to create dark, medium, light, really light, really dark values, again, where they're overlapping. Now, once you get done with your value scale and then you do your design with some values, we are going to fold this paper. We're going to lay it down like this, and then you're going to take a picture of it and you're going to send it to me in Artsonia, and it's going to be called your shape and value worksheet. Now, notice that there's a little bit of smearing going on here, so you're going to want to clean this up too, and that's just from my hands touching the paper. So, again, we're going to do the value scale. We're going to do a little design here where we have organic and geometric and then some values within it. We're going to fold our paper, put it right on top. We're going to take a picture and we're going to submit it to Artsonia. And this is the second day for our elements of art. That'll be the end of the video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have fun.